was to train a handful of peer supporters to deliver some groups in local communities around Belfast initially, with this vague idea that it would slowly grow and expand across the province over time. We wanted to really take our time with it and sort of develop it and make sure we're getting it right from the very beginning. But little did we know, as life is often wont to do, and throw a curveball at us, a pandemic lay ahead. So when we first trained our cohort of 8 peer supporters who graduated in March 2020, we had to scrap all of our plans of delivering face-to-face community support, and we very quickly pivoted into delivering peer support groups online. So our first group started in June 2020 with just 4 members, 2 of whom were volunteers. And I remembered at the time thinking there wasn't going to be enough work for these 8 volunteers, and how wrong I was. So by September 2020, just 3 months after we started, it became obvious that the growth was happening much faster than we had anticipated. And as parents began to struggle more with lockdown and isolation, increasing rates of birth trauma and anxiety, and that lack of social support and connection, we began to receive referrals from health professionals as well around this time who were seeking support for their patients. And by March 2021, we had seen a dramatic increase in the number of referrals, jumping from on average around 6 a month to over 30 per month currently. And these are just continuing to rise. As an entirely volunteer-led organisation, we had to make a very difficult decision to operate a waiting list for our one-to-one peer support because demand has completely overwhelmed that service. And our peer support groups are now operating twice a week, and they're due to increase by another 2 groups very, very soon. And as well as providing peer support, we're now also providing wellbeing programmes and counselling to parents from every health trust from across Northern Ireland. And just to give you a little idea of what our map looks like, so every pin on this map represents a parent who's accessed either peer support, counselling or wellbeing programmes. As you can see, there's quite a lot on there, and we're gradually expanding into those areas as well, and towards the west and the southwest as well, and we're keen to expand our presence there to make sure that those parents are also supported. We're the only charity in Northern Ireland that provides specific perinatal mental health support across the entire province. There are some really, really fantastic local groups that are working in this field as well. For example, Support Together and Centred Soul, the MAS Project. There's a whole group of charities who are working in that area, and we're going to be talking to some of them later on our community panel. But we're the only ones who are providing this region-wide support, and we really just want to make sure that no parent is left to struggle alone with mental illness, and that our services are accessible regardless of where you live. And we've been mobilising this whole community of people to support each other and help each other through perinatal mental health issues, thus reducing the impact and the cost of the NHS, especially now when they're under so much pressure managing the pandemic, and also by providing this space where parents can take control over their own recovery in this supportive community setting. And while we don't have the figures specific for Northern Ireland, a recent UK study has shown that parental mental distress has risen from 27% pre-COVID to 72% today. And that is a massive, massive increase and something that we're seeing mirrored in our work with parents. The combination of lockdown, reduced social connections, reduced support, increased loneliness, and then all those additional pressures of working and parenting and homeschooling and all that stuff that we've been doing during the pandemic in the one space is taking its toll on parents everywhere. And the massive increase in the number of referrals to our service alone has demonstrated this growing need for more support services and investment in mental health care for parents. Currently, we are working around the clock to meet this need while ensuring that we can still provide quality and safe and effective support for the parents coming to us looking for help. We currently have 1 part-time paid member of staff who just joined us 2 weeks ago, the lovely Christina. But the bulk of our work is being done by volunteers who also have jobs and families and responsibilities of their own. And it's just getting more difficult by the day as funding begins to run out and demand on our volunteers and our resources increase. So our response to this growing need has been to seek further funding to help us deliver our services in a number of ways. So as I say, we offer direct peer support in group and one-to-one settings, although there is that waiting list for one-to-one at the moment. We also offer wellness recovery action planning for parents and crisis intervention where it's needed. We have our Parcels of Hope scheme that Lindsay coordinates. It's in tandem with Have You Seen That Girl? And we deliver 5 Parcels of Hope every month to parents who have been nominated by their friends or family, and they receive a self-care package. It just reminds them that there is hope for recovery and that they're not alone and someone is thinking of them. And we're also training our new peer support workers, and we're rolling out our peer support training program so that we can scale our service safely. And as I've said as well, we're adding 2 new peer support groups. Now, bear in mind, This time last year, we weren't operating anything. We were basically just training our peer support workers. So in less than a year, with very limited short-term financial investment and massive amounts of hard work and dedication from our volunteers, we've literally went from providing some informal peer support on a Facebook group to directly delivering first-class support services to hundreds of parents. As well as our peer support and counselling, we also offer wellbeing programs. In the past 3 months, we have delivered over 18 wellbeing programs, and we're launching our new term of programs in the next few weeks. Those programs are all aimed at developing coping mechanisms and resilience and self-confidence and self-esteem in parents to get them to a place where they then can take control of their own recovery. We also offer social connection activities like our crochet club, and we're about to launch our toddler group, which is specifically for parents who are struggling with their mental health. We all know that feeling, if you've experienced perinatal mental health, of walking into a toddler group and thinking all of these parents have it together and I really don't. And what we want to do is create that space that parents can join, knowing that everyone is kind of in a similar situation. As well as providing our peer support training to our volunteers, we also make sure that they're trained in mental health first aid, wellness recovery action planning, the Think Family model, and the Solihull approach to ensure that they have all of the tools and skills they need to support parents. And we offer supervision and reflective practice to all of our volunteers on a regular basis. And we're seeing the very real impact of what we're doing on parents' lives across the province, but that impact really isn't sustainable without investment. So our peer support training, in 2019, we developed an evidence-based perinatal peer support training program. And in 2021, we received level 3 accreditation from the Open College Network, demonstrating that our course is offering high quality and safe delivery of peer support. The program lasts for 10 weeks and it's 3 hours per week. And it really is this transformative process. And I'm going to share with you very shortly a quote from one of the volunteers who have been through it. The training itself role models good peer support and includes practical and theoretical elements. And only those who have completed the training with us and got their qualification can deliver peer support on our behalf. And that's to ensure that we can really stand over our peer support service, knowing it's first class. And all of our peer supporters receive annual refresher training as well. And they have one-to-one and group access to supervision and reflective practice on a monthly basis. And we believe we're the only organisation in Northern Ireland to be delivering this specialist perinatal peer support training. So the impact that we've had so far, parents, we've partnered up with Relate NI and Afterthoughts NI to offer counselling to parents, and it was very kindly funded by Belfast City Council and the Halifax Foundation. And parents who are referred through our counselling programme will typically have a first appointment with a counsellor within 14 days, which is in keeping with the NICE guidelines. Every parent who goes through our counselling service gets 6 funded sessions of counselling. And although this funding is fast running out for this, the demand for the service just keeps continuing to grow. And since launching those partnerships at the end of January 2021, we've referred over 50 patients for counselling. We have had over 400 referrals to our peer support service, our programs and our counselling in just 9 months. And while we don't set out to provide crisis intervention, on occasion this really has been necessary. And we can say with some certainty that since October last year, we have saved the lives of 5 mothers with young children. And we really put collaboration at the heart of everything that we do. We believe that we have to create systemic change, not just surface level change. So we're working closely with Queen's University to develop and deliver their master's module in perinatal mental health. And we're currently exploring doing something similar with the undergrad midwifery program and the social work degree. We also set up and administer the Northern Ireland Perinatal Mental Health Forum, which is a group of other charities and services with an interest in perinatal mental health who come together and share ideas, support one another, and identify opportunities where we can co-work. But don't take it from me. This is what our parents have to say. So the person on the left went through our peer support service and just says, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done to help me so far. I've been blown away by all the support and honestly don't know what I would have done without you. And the person on the right took part in our journaling and meditation course, which says it's been a game changer for them and it's helped provide them with a toolbox of strategies to change their mindset. So this twofold approach shows how we take peer support and skills learning and put them together, and they work very, very well to create this wellness toolbox that parents can use and manage in their own recovery. We're very, very keen that we aren't rescuers or helpers. We don't swoop in to fix people. It's very much about helping parents take agency and take control over their own recovery. And this is what one of our peer supporters has to say. This is one of our peer supporters who runs one of our groups and went through our training. So going through the process of the training healed me in places that I didn't know needed healing. Running the peer support sessions has pushed me out of my comfort zone and allowed my confidence to build. And the feeling I get from helping others was so amazing that I wanted to do more. I've gone from being just a mum to have a passion, being driven and believing in myself that anything is possible. Volunteering has given me my life back, but it's given me a better one than I could have imagined. And that really just speaks for itself. And our volunteers really mean everything to us. We take so much pride in the transformative training that we deliver. And we know that the training itself is transformative. It's very, very clear that by using your own experience to provide help and support to others, it gives that sense of meaning to the negative experience and allows our volunteers to use that in their own healing and recovery process. And that's something that I have seen personally. I went through a very, very dark time when each of my children were born, but being able to take that dark time and give it a sense of meaning has been really, really healing for me. So while our initial plans were to grow slowly, we have had to adapt very, very quickly to the needs of parents in a post-COVID world. We want to see our peer support network continue to grow, like I say, so that any parent in Northern Ireland can access support no matter where they live. And restrictions permitting, we'll be offering a blend of online and face-to-face services and supports moving forward. Our counselling service is one of our most important offerings. So by ensuring parents get quick access to talk therapies, we can reduce the amount of time they're spending in distress and ease some of the pressure on the health service to provide counselling as well. But like I say, funding for that is fast running out and we're actively seeking further support for this scheme. And our wellbeing programs, they do so much more than just give parents something to do. They give them skills and confidence, helps them take control over their own recovery and help them to pull themselves out of despair. And that's really, really powerful. And we want to extend our programs and create more spaces for parents so that no parent misses out. We just know that there's so much more that we could be doing as well with the right resources. So we face a number of challenges, and I'm sure these are challenges that many organisations who may be a part of this talk will resonate with. As I mentioned before, we're almost entirely volunteer-led, and finding access to core funding for salaries and overheads is very, very difficult and time-consuming. We've been successful in obtaining lots of smaller grants to directly deliver programs, but many of these don't factor in full cost recovery. So we often find ourselves under a lot of pressure to deliver on the ground while also trying to raise funds to cover our basic costs. Sustainability is also an issue. We know that demand is just going to keep increasing. I think Julie mentioned in the last one, they think there's going to be a long tail on the post-COVID world and how people are struggling with their mental health. It's also becoming increasingly apparent to us that unless something changes in the very near future, we are at risk of having to turn parents away as we struggle to meet that demand. And this goes against the very, very core of our mission. Excuse me. We want to make sure that no parent is left struggling alone, and we're continuously monitoring and reviewing our activities to ensure that we can keep delivering. However, without significant support and investment, this remains our biggest challenge. And I guarantee you, every penny that comes into us is put to really hard work. We work our money to death at the parent rooms. Our third challenge is time. We know that the pandemic is having a massive impact on the mental health of parents. We know that it's likely to continue for many years to come. We're concerned as well that once the new specialist perinatal mental health services are operational, that we will likely see a marked increase in the number of referrals coming through to us as parents don't meet the criteria for that service and health professionals look elsewhere to get supports. We know all of these challenges are just down the road. And while we spend a majority of our time on delivery, bearing in mind that for most of us, our roles within the parent rooms are voluntary alongside other jobs and commitments, we're struggling to find the time that we need to pause and reflect and plan for what's to come. These three challenges are inextricably linked. Without investment, we can't find the time to plan, which won't allow us to become more sustainable. Without support and collaboration from our colleagues in the health service and the third sector and beyond, we can't continue to grow at the pace that we are, and we won't be able to meet those rising needs. We know we aren't the only charity in this position as well, but I couldn't sit here in front of you today and not be totally honest that these are the challenges that we are facing. So to sum up, I would just like to say three things. First of all, everybody at the parent rooms is incredibly passionate about the supports that we provide to parents. We're really proud of the impact that we've been able to make in such a short period of time, but we are concerned about the growing needs in the community, and we're working around the clock to ensure that we meet those needs. But we can't keep going on this trajectory without long-term sustainable investment. We're actively seeking this as a matter of priority. And if there's anyone in the room who has any opportunities or can point us in the right direction of any opportunities, please get in touch and let us know. Secondly, I just want to say thank you to all of the organisations that are in a similar position to us and who are supporting their service users through this really difficult time. We see you and we stand with you, and just keep on going, and let's all just help each other out. And finally, I would like to say that peer support really did change my life. That cannot be understated. And being part of the community of parents who just get it, who understand, has been absolutely transformative to me. And it's my wish that all of the work we've been doing over the past few months continues to grow so that other parents can reap those benefits and can begin taking those first steps towards recovery. Thank you.
Huge thank you, Michelle, for that wonderful presentation and for all the exciting work that We Are Panks are doing. There's some comments coming in there for you. Just really thank you for championing peer support here in Northern Ireland and for leading the parent rooms and all of us as we seek to know how best to support parents. And please do make contact with Michelle. Like she said, she would love to hear from you, particularly if you have any ideas about how we move all of this forward. She would definitely be open for a conversation. And also, I can see that some emails have come in for our Parcels of Hope, as Michelle has mentioned those throughout. So yes, do please keep nominating parents for those. And you also might be able to see, if you go onto our Facebook pages, that this week we are actually running a bit of a competition, so that there are parcels of hope being given out specifically for Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week by the parent rooms. And Have You Seen That Girl? So go and check out Facebook and Instagram to make sure you enter for one of those, but we will be sending some out again at the end of May. So we have come to lunchtime. Now, if we were all together, we would be providing you with hopefully a lovely lunch. As we're not, it is up to you to go and make yourself maybe a sandwich or whatever it is that you're going to have for your lunch, but do then come back and join us. And we're coming back again at 1:15, so it is now actually finished a few minutes early. So 1:15 for our next session, which is with APP, Action on Postpartum Psychosis, and we're going to be hearing a bit more about that and about their work. So do come back. Michelle will see you here again at 1:15 to introduce you to the two wonderful women from there who are going to share with us. So thank you all. Go and enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Hey, bye.